How you doing? I hope you're well. I hope things are good. Today's feels like a bit of a Monday motivation, but it's Wednesday and it's a bit gloomy and grey out there. It's the middle of the week. And so I wanted to share this little 5-part series today because motivation can work on all kinds of moments. Sometimes we're like, okay, I feel really great and it's a random Thursday. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm really tired and I don't know why. I was having a chat with 2 mums on the school run today and I left and I said, right, I'm going home to do brave things. And they looked at me and they were like, oh, what's she going to do? Thinking, is she going to climb Everest? I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm literally going to send some scary emails that I feel are out of my comfort zone. And this is a real thing for me this year. I have a bit of a, if not now, then when? Because there are things that have been lurking around on my list for too long. And I am so bored of my own, you can't do it, you're not ready, And I know I have been in a phase of having small children at home and them not sleeping and all of that. But you know what? It's time. I'm 41 and I'm not thinking like I have to do stuff overnight or anything like that. But when I was thinking about what this next decade looks like, I know I'm going right in there, but I've got, what this next decade looks like, 40 to 50, where do I want to be? What do I want to build? Because I know by the time I get to 50, God willing, then, you know, maybe there'll be other things that I need to do, like looking after parents, or I'll be driving teenagers around who are, you know, drinking on the streets. Who knows what it will bring? But I'm in that sort of flow at the moment. So I said to these mums, right, I'm going home to do brave things. And actually all it is some emails and some stuff that I've been putting off for a long time. Things that I want to do, collaborate, all of this sort of stuff. And I will say right now, I have done a few. I've been in this zone for a while of doing brave things and I've had some no's. I absolutely have. And they've been lovely no's, like, thank you so much. You know, really like what you're doing. It's just not a fit. Brilliant. That is all part of the process as well. And I think so many of us, especially as women, you notice I'm like subconsciously like rubbing my heart here, like just protecting my nervous system. So many of us are frightened of getting a no or a sense of, well, what if they don't like it? Because inherently we were taught to be lovely and to please people and to do the right thing. But actually saying no is so part of life. And I think about how many times do I say no to my children? And it's nothing to do with my emotional response. It was like last night when my child said, my little girl was like, I'd really like some Easter egg. And this is her latest thing. I feel like I need some Easter egg. I said, oh, we're not going to have Easter egg now. And that, I was going to say that was the end of it. It wasn't. She continued to ask. But that was a neutral response for me. It wasn't like, oh, it's because I don't think you're good enough or any of those sorts of things. It was like, I'm just not going to give you a load of chocolate before you go to bed. Anyway, so the brave thing. I said that on the way. And then as I walked home, I thought, I've got to get a grip of this brave thing scenario because I am bigging up this situation way too much. And I had to remember, so this is number 1. The perspective on the brave thing. I am not saving lives. If I could, I would, but I'm not. I'm sending emails. I am sending emails. And yes, they may feel out of my comfort zone. Yes, they might bring my imposter syndrome to the table or like, oh gosh, am I ready? Am I there? All that chatter. They're going to bring those to the table, but I'm not saving lives. So do the thing. Do the thing. Do one, do the next. And one thing that I've done with it is I've created a spreadsheet. And when you have a spreadsheet and when you are tracking your progress, that has been such a brilliant motivator because I want to, again, that people pleaser thing, I want to tick the things off the list. I want to do it. And I want to say like, oh, I can tick that box in the spreadsheet. It's not a technical spreadsheet because I'm terrible with Excel. But I had to get it in perspective. Number 2. With brave things, with moving out of your comfort zone, It is a numbers game. You can apply this to your business. You can apply it to getting more clients, getting more opportunities, getting more lovers, whatever it is that you're doing. Getting more lovers. That sounds a bit, Anyway, you can apply it to anything. It is a numbers game. Yes, you might have one opportunity or one situation that suddenly opens the door, but the likelihood is the more you do, the easier it will become. So just do more of the thing. The next thing I want to say is most people won't do it. Most people won't do it. They will say they will do it. They say that they want it, but most people won't do the things because it will take time. Especially if it's brave, especially if it's out of your comfort zone, especially if it's something that not many people do, especially if it's going to take some tenacity and some rejection and getting yourself back up and figuring out another way forward. All of that takes resilience, time, energy, having moments in dark corners going, who am I? What is this all about? It's going to take all of those things. Most people won't do it because it's hard. And this is such a comfort to me because I think that there is still such a scarcity that only a few people get to do the thing. There's only so many opportunities, or once they've gone, morning everyone, once they've gone, or there's, one seat at the table, or there's one winner, or all of that. And so many people will give up so quickly. And so when I think about the fact that most people won't do it, think about all the great things about the fact that if you're still in the game, or if you're still having a go, or if you're still putting your hand up and going, yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but I'm here. Sometimes the fact that you're in the room is enough. And that is a beautiful thing. 2 more. What might happen? What might happen? Play the whole scenario through. So with this set of emails that I'm using as the example, what might happen? Okay, on a positive note, I might get a yes. I might get a absolutely, we've been waiting for you, Nicky Raby, our whole live long life. Off we go. Let's do this. Perfect timing. Brilliant. And I have had those moments in my life. I might get ignored. Never hear from them. And you might have a moment thinking, I spent 12 minutes putting together that excellent email. 12 minutes that I'll never get back. I'm here to say nothing is ever wasted, because once you have that email, once you put it together, it's yours. And that takes a certain amount of work, etc. Or you might just get a no. You might get a polite no, no thanks, it's not a fit, or don't email me again. No. We don't accept emails. You might get that. And so with this situation, I sat down and I just thought about all of the pros and cons, the things that might happen. And when I looked at it, I thought, well, nothing bad really is going to happen. It's going to be okay, because this is a bonus. And once I did that, it alleviated the emotion. It alleviated all of that stuff that was holding me back. And I am also working on the basis that even if I start in a situation where something is not very good, the likelihood is the more that I do it, the better I'm going to get. Because I am somebody that in the process, if I'm not getting a result, or if things are feeling clunky, I will go and hire that support. Or I will ask for it, or I will Google it, or I will put my hands up and say, I don't know what I'm doing here. I need some feedback. I will ask questions. I will do all of those things. So I think sitting with the reality of the situation is a really important thing, because once those things come back, maybe you get a no, maybe somebody says, yes, we've been waiting for you for your whole life. Your brain goes, oh, it's all right. Oh, we thought that might happen. Yeah. And going back to point number 2, oh yeah, it's a numbers game. That could be part of it. Yeah. No worries. And what you have then is you have that neutrality around it. You don't have that, oh my gosh, I've sent the email and I sent it 48 hours ago and I haven't had a response. Do you think they've replied? Do you think they've seen it? Do you think I'm a terrible... you don't have any of that because you're on to the next thing. You're back in your spreadsheet. You're doing it. Number 5, what happens if you don't do this? Okay, well, the positives are, and I always go there first, the positives are I can stay in my comfort zone. I don't have to do the thing because I'm not doing it. So I can go and watch like Netflix, or I could scroll on my phone, I could play 2 dots, I could do all of the things. And I could just take myself out of the game. But I know if there's something that I really want and it doesn't leave me, and it makes me emotional every time, and you will have your own version of this, after a while, it's almost like something you can't ignore any longer. And you have to pay attention to it. And I've had so many coaches that I've worked with personally over the years that talk about this sense of something being meant for you. And I think about all of those scenarios in life where there are so many things that I have absolutely no desire to do. I have no desire to drive a forklift truck. I have no desire to So instinctively, I have no desire to go skiing. I don't think that I'm a skier. I just don't. It's not something that I'm particularly drawn to. But there are some things, some moods, some situations where I just go, oh, yes, I would love that. And it's almost like you feel that vibration with whatever it is where you go, oh, I would love to have a go with that. And having that sense of knowing, it's almost like a switchboard or something like that when the light goes on. And there are some things it's like, no, oh, that. And when I go into that state of mind and I look back maybe on the last 5, 10, 15, 20 and beyond years, if something is still lurking, if something still wants to come to the surface, I have to pay attention to it. And I know that so many coaches do this like quite doom and gloom exercise of like sitting in a rocking chair and thinking about when you're 90 years old and your regrets of your life and things like that. But actually, that version of me doesn't necessarily resonate. And I think with all of these tools, you have to take what resonates and use them and fuel them. And one thing that really works for me, because I can see it, if I can see April 2024, we still in April? We are in April, lovely. I don't want to get to this time next year and saying, I'm still talking about that thing. I am still saying, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah, that's important to me, because I get really bored of my own conversation. So that is your final pro and con exercise for today. And just be really honest with yourself and say, what would happen if I do nothing? What would happen what would be the negative effects? And this isn't scaremongering or anything like that, or like when people go, I just wouldn't live my best life. Sometimes those phrases are really woolly, and so connect with something. So for me, I hate it when I get in that situation. Well, let's do the opposite. I like to be somebody, if I say that I'm going to do something, I want to do it. Otherwise, why? Why would I get into WhatsApp trails, emails? Like, if I'm doing the thing, I'm doing the thing. Likewise, when I don't want to do the thing, I try and say early and say, it's not for me, I can't make it, I've got something else on that day, it's probably not going to happen, etc. So my thing, my little pain point for myself is if I get to a stage where I'm still talking about the same thing, when I'm still expending energy saying, oh, I was going to do that, that conflicts with who I am as a person. Because the person that I endeavor to be is somebody who does what they say they're going to do. So I hope that has been useful. Let me know if anything's coming up, and you can DM me afterwards as well. If you want to go, oh, I want to do this thing, Nicky, like I'm going to do it today. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to maybe send that email where you have to look away as you're sending send because it feels scary. But now is our time, friends. This is it. This is it. And I know there's never going to be a perfect time. And maybe you've had a rotten morning already, trying to get children out to school or wherever, or you're just not feeling great. I was in the 4:45 club this morning. I don't know why. Yeah, it's not the one. And I could have so stayed in that. And I really wanted to stay in that moment of like, I'm so tired. But that doesn't make me feel good. Doesn't make me feel good. And it's quite exhausting to be in that state for me as well. So I hope you've got lots of stuff from it. Let me know what you're going to do, what you're going to take away from this. I am going to save it as well. So feel free to send it and share it far and wide. And I'm going to do some brave things today, but they're not actually that brave. It's just sending emails. But I've loved being with you today. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll be back soon, sending lots of love. And I'm just cheering you on the whole way. I see you. I just acknowledge that this is not easy. As I mentioned, most people are not going to do it. It's easy. Susie, you go, girl. Love you. Yeah, you do it. You do it. I'm watching you, mate, and I see you. And lots of us have been doing lots of things for a long time, and with that, so many challenges: personal, family, work, all COVID. Hello, you know, how long's the list? But we're doing it, and yeah. People are in your corner. People love what you do, and people are waiting for it. And I think that is my final note as well. Imagine if your brave thing is exactly the thing that somebody wants. And I know that has been the case so many times for myself. When I have seen a webinar or a workshop or bumped into somebody in the street, I'm like, where have you been all my life? This is such perfect timing. That's it. I'm going to leave it there. Sending lots of love, and have a great day, and go and do some brilliant stuff in the world. All right. Laters. Bye.